Hello.
Close my door.
Why?
Close my door.
I don't know what she said to you.
You're not gonna say nothing because when the was mentioned and you're like, are you serious? You know I'm not doing that. I'm trying to stand with your ass once a get on that and then you sitting here acting like a bitch. Are you kidding me? How much do you think I can take?
Okay, so you...
Okay.
In an explosive showdown that no one saw coming, Rasheeda Frost has taken matters into her own hands and slapped Kirk Frost during a heated argument about none other than Jasmine. The drama between these three has reached a boiling point, and the tension is so thick you can practically feel it. Everyone has been waiting for a breaking point, and it looks like this might be the moment that finally pushes Rasheeda to her limit. The question on everyone's mind now is, has the slap marked the end of Rasheeda and Kirk's marriage, or is there still hope for reconciliation? Trust me, this one will leave you speechless. The tension between Rasheeda and Kirk has been building for weeks, but no one expected it to explode the way it did. It wasn't just a random argument, it was a culmination of everything that had been going wrong in their relationship for a while. The involvement of Jasmine, the other woman who had been a constant source of strain, had pushed things to a breaking point. Rasheeda had been feeling betrayed, and even though Kirk tried to play it cool, he couldn't deny the obvious. A storm was brewing, and it was only a matter of time before it hit. There had been signs, little moments where Rasheeda's frustration with Kirk had been simmering just under the surface. It wasn't just about the messages he had exchanged with Jasmine or the lies he told. It was about the way Kirk acted as though nothing was wrong, as if Rasheeda's feelings didn't matter. He had been dismissive and defensive every time she brought up the issue. He would brush it off, claiming that he was just being friendly or that there was nothing serious going on with Jasmine. But deep down, Rasheeda knew better. She could feel the betrayal, and every time Kirk tried to downplay the situation, it only made things worse. When the argument finally happened, it was triggered by Kirk's complete refusal to acknowledge the severity of the situation. Rasheeda was already on edge, her emotions running high, and when Kirk made another careless comment, it was the last straw. The anger and frustration that had been building up for months suddenly spilled over, and before anyone knew it, Rasheeda slapped him hard across the face. It wasn't just an impulsive reaction, it was a raw emotional outburst that came from a place of deep hurt. In that moment, Rasheeda didn't hold back. It wasn't the first time she'd been hurt by Kirk, but this felt different. This was betrayal on a level she couldn't ignore any longer. The slap echoed through the room, leaving a stunned silence hanging in the air. Kirk, caught completely off guard, stood there for a moment, frozen. He didn't retaliate, didn't raise his voice, didn't do anything to defend himself. He just looked at Rasheeda as if trying to process what had just happened. The slap wasn't just about the physical pain, it was a wake-up call for him, a harsh reminder that Rasheeda was no longer willing to tolerate his lies and disrespect. Kirk's response? He didn't know what to say. He didn't apologize immediately. Instead, he tried to shift the blame, acting as though Rasheeda's anger was misplaced. But Rasheeda wasn't having it. She had been pushed to the brink, and no amount of excuses was going to make her back down. For Rasheeda, the slap wasn't just a release of anger. It was the culmination of everything she had been feeling but hadn't been able to express. For so long, she had kept her emotions bottled up, trying to stay composed and hold the family together. But in that moment, she let it all out. The betrayal, the frustration, the exhaustion, it all came pouring out. Was the slap a moment of losing control, or did she feel it was necessary to make Kirk understand the depth of her pain? In some ways, it felt like the only way she could get through to him. She had tried talking, pleading, but he never seemed to truly get it. The slap was her way of showing him that enough was enough. Afterward, Rasheeda's emotions were a whirlwind. On one hand, she felt justified. She had every right to be angry, every right to express her pain. On the other hand, part of her felt conflicted. Was this the kind of behavior she wanted to condone in her marriage? Did the slap cross a line she couldn't come back from? She wasn't sure, but one thing was clear: she was fed up. She had been holding on for too long, trying to make things work, but Kirk's continued lies and betrayal had left her feeling like she couldn't take it anymore. As for Kirk, his reaction was less than reassuring. Initially, he was stunned. He didn't react in the way you might expect. He didn't shout or try to fight back. Instead, he stood there, almost paralyzed by the shock of what had just happened. But then, after the silence settled, he tried to justify himself. Was he surprised? Yes. Defensive? Absolutely. But remorseful? Not so much. It was clear that Kirk wasn't truly owning up to the seriousness of the situation. Instead of recognizing the depth of Rasheeda's hurt, he tried to downplay it, shifting the focus back onto her reaction rather than addressing his own actions. It was a classic Kirk move, deflecting and minimizing instead of taking responsibility. Rasheeda, however, wasn't backing down. She had reached a point where she wasn't going to let Kirk manipulate the situation anymore. His response to the slap, or lack thereof, only made her more determined to stand her ground. She had tried for so long to be the bigger person, to hold the family together, but it was clear now that Kirk wasn't interested in doing the same. The slap was her way of saying enough. It was a sign that Rasheeda was no longer willing to tolerate his behavior, and if he wanted to fix things, it was going to take more than just words. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the impact on their relationship was undeniable. Was the slap the breaking point for Rasheeda, or was it just a wake-up call for Kirk? Was this the moment where everything changed, or could they somehow find a way to repair their marriage? Rasheeda, though emotionally shaken, wasn't sure what to do next. The slap had opened up a chasm between them, but the question was, could they cross it? For Rasheeda, the emotional fallout was immense. She had always prided herself on being strong, on keeping things together for the sake of her family. But now, after everything that had happened, she was left wondering if she could ever trust Kirk again. Could she ever move past his lies and betrayal? Was the slap an act of empowerment, or did it represent the ultimate failure of their marriage? Rasheeda didn't have all the answers, but she knew one thing. She wasn't going to stay in a toxic relationship just for the sake of appearances. She deserved more than that. Jasmine, of course, was never far from the picture. Throughout all of this, Rasheeda had been wrestling with the fact that Jasmine was still a major part of the equation. Jasmine's involvement in their marriage had only added fuel to the fire. Rasheeda couldn't help but wonder how much of this tension was caused by Jasmine's actions and how much of it was simply Kirk's inability to set boundaries. Was Jasmine intentionally trying to cause trouble, or was she just another pawn in Kirk's games? Rasheeda's feelings toward Jasmine were complicated. She didn't know if she should blame her for everything or if the blame should fall squarely on Kirk's shoulders. But one thing was certain, Jasmine was never far from their problems. As news of the slap spread like wildfire, fans couldn't stop talking about it. Social media was flooded with reactions, each one more passionate than the last. Some fans were stunned by Rasheeda's actions, seeing the slap as a raw moment of frustration and hurt that she could no longer keep inside. For others, it was a moment of empowerment. Rasheeda finally standing up for herself after years of dealing with Kirk's questionable behavior. Social media platforms were buzzing with opinions, memes, and viral videos that captured the intensity of the moment. The slap had sparked a firestorm of emotions, and it didn't look like it was going to die down anytime soon. As the drama unfolded, fans were divided. Some were firmly in Rasheeda's corner, applauding her for taking control of her own narrative and standing up to Kirk in a public way. They felt that the slap was a long overdue reaction to the constant betrayal and disrespect she had endured. On the other hand, there were fans who sympathized with Kirk, believing he deserved a chance to explain himself. They argued that the slap might have been an overreaction and that the couple's relationship could still be salvaged if both of them were willing to work through their issues. With so many different opinions, the conversation quickly turned to Jasmine's role in all of this. Was she the cause of the drama, or was Kirk solely to blame for the downfall of their marriage? Memes began circulating on social media, with some portraying Rasheeda as a woman finally taking control of her life, while others mocked Kirk for his apparent inability to handle the fallout from his actions. It was clear that this confrontation had become a cultural moment, drawing attention from fans and casual observers alike. As the drama continued to unfold, questions about the future of Rasheeda and Kirk's relationship took center stage. Could this slap be the final straw that ended their marriage, or was there a chance for reconciliation? Fans could only speculate, wondering if they would see the couple work through their issues or if the emotional toll would prove too much to overcome. Looking ahead, it's impossible to predict what the future holds for Rasheeda and Kirk. Could this explosive confrontation be the tipping point that ended their marriage for good, or was there still a chance for them to repair the damage? The road to reconciliation would not be easy, and rebuilding trust seemed like a monumental task after everything that had happened. Therapy might be one way forward, but it would require a lot of work, patience, and a genuine commitment from both sides. Rasheeda, however, was no fool. She knew that if Kirk truly wanted to fix things, he would have to prove to her that he was capable of real change. The future of their relationship hung in the balance, and fans were eagerly awaiting the next chapter of this intense saga. So, what's next for Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine? Will Rasheeda finally walk away, or will she give Kirk another chance? Will Jasmine continue to play a role in their drama, or will she step aside now that the tension has reached its peak? And how will the other *Love and Hip Hop * cast members react to the fallout? Will they offer support or will they take sides? This intense showdown has left everyone on edge, and now the question remains. Can Rasheeda and Kirk rebuild their relationship after this explosive confrontation, or has the damage already been done? What do you think? Should Rasheeda leave Kirk for good, or is there still hope for their marriage? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Things are about to get even crazier.